Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. This video is in response to um, three tragic, unnecessary shootings done by people in their homes who were just stupid and they were emotional and they were afraid. You cannot use deadly force just because you're afraid. And I'm going to tell you what the rules are before you can use deadly force, right? Especially with a gun, because you can put that deadly force out a bit, and that happened. In all three cases, it was some old person who, I was afraid. They came up to the one of them was a young black boy who was looking for his siblings. He was going to and went to the wrong house, and the homeowner, white guy, got scared and shot him through the door. Through the door, right? The other one was a young white girl who was in a car with other people, and there were a couple of cars, and they were looking for an address. They got lost. They were out in the boonies somewhere in the Midwest, and the guy shoots the car from the house. Nobody got out of the cars, right? And the third one was similar. Person comes up to the door. He hears knocking, and he shoots through the door. Doesn't even see who's there. You can't do that. You can't shoot through the door. You can't shoot through the door. When you use deadly force, you must have three things. Must have all three of these things in place. If you've been to any kind of concealed carry classes in your state or in your jurisdiction, you probably know this, but this will be a refresher, right? You must have this, right? And it's called AOJ or sometimes AOI. The A means, and this is before you can come to the conclusion that you are under threat, and now you can use deadly force to protect yourself. The first is, does the person to think, do they look like they have the ability to deliver serious bodily injury or death to you? Do they look like they have the ability? Yes or no? Well, what does that mean? If it's a 2-year-old with a stick, probably not, right? If it's anybody that can carry a katana and they're standing across the street, yes, they have the ability. That's just the ability. Just because someone has the ability does not give rise to the fear, and now just because you see they have the ability to deliver serious bodily injury or death, that you can shoot them. But ability must be there. Ability could be they're bigger than you. They don't even have to have a weapon. They're bigger than you. They are a human that has arms and legs. They have the ability to deliver serious bodily injury or death. So there's a spectrum of things. Do they have the ability? You cannot determine if they have the ability unless you can see them. Don't shoot through the door. Okay. What's the second thing that must be in place? They have the ability, but do they have the opportunity? What is the opportunity? That means they're in the same place you are, right? Someone could have the ability, but they're on the phone. They could threaten you all day long, but they have the ability, yes, because you know them. But do they have the opportunity? Nah, right? Let's take the person that has whoever can carry a katana. They have a katana, big sword, right? And they're talking about your mother. And they're threatening they're going to kill you. But they're across the street. They're across the street. Do they have the opportunity to use that ability on you? No. Because they're across the street. And they're talking about your mom. Right? And they're waving the katana around. They're going to cut your head off. I'm going to cut your head off. Do they have the ability? Yes. Do they have the opportunity? Yes. Can you shoot them? No. No. What's the third thing that must be in place? In some trainings and jurisdictions, you'll hear the word jeopardy. Are you now in jeopardy? Or in some classes, it says, is the threat imminent? It is going to happen now. It is about to happen now. Right? Again, you can't tell unless you can see those other two things. Because I'm going to come back to the knocking on the door and the people in the cars. Right? Because if these three things are not in place, you are going to get charged, or you should be charged with at least manslaughter, if not murder. But is the threat, the ability and the opportunity, is it now imminent? The threat is going to happen now, and you can see it happening now. You can see it's about to happen now. The person with the katana across the street is now running toward you. It's imminent. It's imminent. The person at your front door, right, that maybe you can see them, maybe you can't, but now the door has broken open. It's imminent. Or you can tell with the force on the door that the person is trying to get in. That threat is imminent, right? Imminent. It is about to happen now. Let's change the scenario with the person with the katana across the street. And now instead of having a katana, they have a firearm. They have a pistol or a rifle. Pistol or a rifle. Do they have the ability? Absolutely. Do they have the opportunity? Yes, they're in the same place you are. Is the threat imminent? As long as the gun barrel doesn't come up and point to you, it is not imminent. Understand that. Unless somebody points the barrel at you, it is not imminent. And therefore you cannot use deadly force against them. Right? You better be paying attention, because sometimes that barrel can come up kind of fast. You need to be on it. But until that happens, you can't do that. That's what got the McCluskeys in trouble. They're walking around, and the man had his AR at low ready. The stupid wife, she's pointing her pistol at people in the crowd who are not posing an imminent threat to them. They were walking by making noise, right? That's why they got in trouble. But let's come back to this imminent part. It's about to happen now. Let's take, you're in your business and there's a crowd going through, and there you see somebody with a Molotov cocktail, right? And they light it. Okay? Do they have the ability? Yeah, absolutely. Do they have the opportunity? Yep. Is the threat imminent? Only if you see them raise their arm and throw it, getting ready to throw it toward you. It's just like the person raising their barrel. You're ready to throw it toward you. Then you can light them up. You don't have to wait till the Molotov cocktail hits you or hits your building. Right? Let's come back to the woman and the girl in the car. No one got out of the car. The threat, even if the person felt fear, the threat was not imminent. Why? Because they were all in the car. Did they have the ability? Yeah, there was more of them than him. They have the opportunity? Yes, they were right there. They were in his driveway turning around. Was the threat imminent? No. Why? Because they were all in the car. Nobody got out of the car. Nobody stopped the car. Engines were running. They would try to turn around. The boy going to pick up his siblings at the wrong address. Did he have the ability? No, I think he was 15. Yeah, he could have whooped on this old man. Yeah, he had the ability. Did he have the opportunity? Sure, because he was standing on the guy's porch. But was the threat imminent? He got shot through the door. The old man probably didn't know, right? Whatever. All three weren't there. And yes, he got tried. I mean, he got charged. Before every time you think about you using deadly force against another, you need to put this mantra in your head. Do they have the ability to deliver serious bodily injury or death to me? Do they have the ability? Yes or no? And do they have the opportunity? Are they close enough to deliver that with the ability they have? Yes or no? And finally, is it whatever that threat is, they have the ability and they have the opportunity, right? And it's about to happen now. They are about to launch an attack on you now. Those three must be in place. If they're not, and you just say, I was afraid they might do it, that's not going to, no. Because that's manslaughter or murder. Manslaughter, it doesn't matter what they're saying, it doesn't, none of that. None of that. Okay? So, think about that. Don't make those kind of mistakes out of emotion. I don't care if you're 85-year-old man, woman. I don't care. Those three rules still apply. They still apply. My wife is a... No, those three things still apply. Do they have the ability? Do they have the opportunity? And is it imminent? Is it going to happen now? Is that jeopardy? So, maybe this has been helpful, maybe not. Maybe you think I'm full of crap. I don't think so, because this is the rules I live by. And so think about that. You have any comments, any experiences that you would like to share? Put them in the comments down below. If you like the content of this channel, as always, please subscribe. I'm 50 shy of 10,000. Come on, people, help a brother out. If you're not subscribed, just do it. Help me out. And as always, as I always say, however you can, wherever you can, whenever you can, carry on.